Well, it's that time again. Time to look at another bastardized version of a classic Sega game brought to you by your friends at Tiger Electronics. In the crosshairs this week is Fighters Megamix for the Gamecom. So let's start this review on a positive note. The presentation, it's okay. The game comes on a standard Gamecom cartridge, which are actually pretty nice. They're tiny, incredibly light, and durable. A kid in the 90s could stuff their pockets with these things without any issue. The sticker art is ripped straight from the Saturn version and looks okay, but there's a definite blurriness that I don't notice on other Gamecom games. The manual is printed in a single color and at 19 pages is actually pretty comprehensive, including a detailed description of game modes and some character bios. So far so good. As far as the game itself, it's not terrible. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement, but it's definitely not the train wreck that was Sonic Jam for the Gamecom. The sprites are huge and well detailed. You won't have any trouble recognizing the characters, that is, when you can actually see them, but more on that later. There's even some visible damage. Certain characters wear armor that can break in the middle of a round. It's a subtle detail that I was surprised to see. There are also multiple unlockable characters, including the hilarious Hornet from Daytona, USA. Like the sprite work, the stages are impressive. There's a pseudo 3D scrolling effect here. While your character is locked into left and right movement, the ring kinda turns as you move. It's a cool effect that I don't recall seeing on any other handheld fighters at the time, though it has absolutely no bearing on gameplay. So yeah, I'm reasonably impressed so far. Unfortunately, it kinda falls apart after that. The hardware just can't handle this game. The gameplay is incredibly slow, just a few frames a second, but ironically, the Gamecom's terrible screen can't keep up with the quick movement of the characters. As soon as you jump or use a special attack, it becomes a blurry mess. The background is still visible, but your character practically disappears. This inevitably leads to mindless button mashing while you try to regain your bearings. And button mashing is really your best bet here. I tried some typical button combinations, but I was never able to execute a special move. But it doesn't really matter. Pressing right and mashing the A button works most of the time. There are a couple characters with low, sweeping special moves that are extremely difficult to avoid. In those instances, you do have to get a little more creative. It doesn't help that those characters like to spam the same special move over and over again. Overall, the fighting is just inconsistent. It's not completely broken, but it's not great. This game actually does some things right. The artwork, when you can actually see it, is great, and for a 1998 handheld fighting game, it's fairly complex. The main problem is the Gamecom itself. It's an underpowered machine with a screen that's probably better suited for a calculator than a game system. Do yourself a favor. If you want a retro handheld fighting game, get yourself a Neo Geo Pocket Color. Now that system can do fighting games.